Welcome again to Shelf Life Online. Once again, I'm bringing to your attention two highly recommended books. The very first book is a big one, Dolly Parton, My Life in Lyrics. She's written this book with Robert Orman, and it is published by Chronicle, and it retails for $70. If you're a fan of Dolly Parton, and millions of people are, this is definitely a book for you. It tells her life story through her lyrics. In the book, there are more than 175 songs mentioned, and she says early in the book how and why she got into songwriting, and I will read the exact quote. She says, "As a songwriter, I am influenced by everything around me. I write a lot from my heart, but I also just have a big imagination. People ask me, do you have to be in a particular place to write a song? I don't. I can write anywhere, anytime, any place." And actually, she wrote her first song when she was 6 years old, about Tiny Tasseltop. That was a corncob doll that she had, and she always had a flair of describing things in detail in her songs. And in many of her songs, she has written some classic lyrics, and she's been inspired by a lot of different things. Some of her songs include 9 to 5, of course, from the movie of the same name that she starred in, and I Will Always Love You, which was the theme song from the Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston movie, The Bodyguard. She's had a rather interesting life, traveling, singing. She's done it all, basically. She just turned 75 years old, and based on this picture here, she does not look her age. And she talks in detail about her, I'm just referring to my notes here because I don't remember everything, with Porter Wagoner. Early in the 60s and later in the 60s, she toured with Porter Wagoner. He's another famous country singer. And there came a time when they had sort of a falling out, and he tried to really control her life and career, and she didn't want that. She was her own very independent woman, and that is how the song I Will Always Love You came about. It was like a breakup song, really, between her and Porter. She wishes him no ill will. He was a major part of her life early in her career. He brought her to venues where she could perform, where people got to know about her. She also talks about her husband in the book. He is very rarely seen. He's not somebody who wants the spotlight. He has stayed behind the scenes, and he's content with that, and Dolly is not about to bring him out into the spotlight. But anyways, in this book, I'll show you it again. It's a big one, and it is a good one. Like I said, it talks. It mentions over 175 of her songs. Many you will recognize immediately, and once you read the reasons for a lot of these songs, you will have an even deeper respect, if you do not respect her now, for this performer. So say hello, Dolly, and add this book to your collection because it is certainly more than worthwhile. The second book that I would like to draw to your attention this week is Wonder Woman in the 50s. This is a look at, Wonder Woman. Everybody knows Wonder Woman. She began in, actually, the comic strip began in 1941, and it was written or created by a psychologist, William, I've got to get his name right, William Moulton Marston, and he went by the pen name in the comics as Charles Moulton. This book looks at some of the classic 1950s comics featuring Wonder Woman. There are 2 stories with the Justice Society of America. Now, these comics in the 60s were obviously very tame, or the 50s, sorry. It was sort of in response to EC Comics and their graphically, horror line, which had eyeballs oozing out of sockets and decapitated heads. So after EC Comics was drummed out of business, a lot of the comic groups had much tamer stories so as not to ruffle any feathers and to get parents upset at what their children were reading. This Wonder Woman comic book looks at some of her classic stories. Now, some were very trite. She has a special penny that's given to her by her mother, and she has to go to Earth and turn the penny into $1 million to help underprivileged children. There are no real rock'em sock'em battles with nefarious villains. It's all in fun, and she has a lot of challenges here in the comic. Now, she meets Steve Trevor, the pilot, who she saved his life, and he is constantly trying to get on her good side. He wants to marry her one day. So if you're looking for just a simple collection of a classic comic character, Wonder Woman in the 50s is definitely a book that you will want to add to your collection. By the way, it is published by DC Comics, and it retails for $45.99, and it's over 300 pages of the best of the 1950s Wonder Woman. So those are the two books this week. I hope you will seek them out when you go to your bookstore. And as always, please send me your comments, positive, negative. I like to find out if you're watching, if you like what I'm saying, or if you don't like what I'm saying. And so anyways, thank you again. Keep social distancing. That's what I always say. And stay well, stay sane, and above all, stay safe. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you real soon.